Started here. So we're sitting here,
Word.
you're watching the honor show, and we are lucky enough to have my man Skribbal in the building. How are you doing today?
I'm good, man. It's gonna be 107 fucking degrees, but other than that, I'm good. It's
Damn, that's a hot one. Jeez.
a good thing we're doing. Good thing we're doing it early. I could go outside and have my smoke in peace. You know what I mean?
Right? Get you a little bit of peace before it gets scorching out there.
Yeah, bro. For real.
Damn. Well, that's one of the few times ever in my life I've said I'm glad I'm in Minnesota today.
Oh fuck, man. Minnesota.
Yeah.
That would be heaven on earth the last few days here, bro. Like to be in Minnesota, dog. That would be amazing.
Damn. Damn. Well,
Home of one of my favorite rap groups, by the way, Atmosphere.
oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah. Rhyme sayers, right?
Yeah, rap sayers. I love Atmosphere, man. What definitely in my top 10 rap groups ever.
Hell yeah. Awesome. That's awesome to hear. I'm glad you said, because
Hell
those
yeah.
are also some of the things I like to ask on this stuff, because I like to, the guys I look up to and listen to, like you, I like to see what are their influences, what do they like to listen to, and, which is part of
Right.
what we do. But so tell us, where did you grow up?
Well, my first 10 or so years, I actually grew up in Oregon, and I was put into the foster care system. And
Oh,
then that's how I ended up in California. I ended up moving to Southern California to live with my grandparents.
oh, wow. Okay. Well, thanks for sharing that,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah,
Um,
man. So yeah, it was a culture shock, kind of. You know what I mean? To go from Oregon to SoCal, LA County, uh, at 11 years old, it was a total culture shock. But that's really what got me into hip hop and shit. Because before that, I was into what my parents were into. I was like a metalhead. You know what I mean? I was
yeah, yeah.
a little metalhead, and then I got here and I got introduced to hip hop, and it just everything changed. You know?
Hell yeah. That's cool. See, it's like, even so, it just like it helps me to bring up the point of, even some of the worst things that can happen to us can end up having some of the most positive effects in the long run. Like the
Oh
evil
yeah.
that's supposed to be meant for us can end up being good, and that's cool.
Absolutely. That's absolutely what it was for me. You know what I mean? Look, everyone has their, and for correct reasons, because the foster care system is kind of fucked
Yeah.
with a lot of people. I know a lot of people, a lot of my friends who ended up in the foster care system, they didn't make it out. You know what I mean?
Wow.
So I was lucky enough. I was lucky enough to make it to a decent foster home,
Right.
and then I was lucky enough to have my grandparents raise me. You know what I mean? So a lot of people aren't in that position, and they end up in group homes and shit like that. So yeah, I'm very happy the way it went for me.
Good. I'm glad for that. That makes my whole day to hear that and to know that that went well. For honestly, that makes me happy. I feel like I'm kind of an empath where I feel people's stuff. So that's gonna make me feel good all day. That's cool.
Right,
I'm really glad for you, man. Um. So at
right.
what age did you?
I'm lucky. I'm lucky I could say that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Because you're right. A lot of kids, like from what I hear about the foster care system, a lot of people are doing it just to get that check, and they treat the kids almost worse than some of their pets, and it's
Well,
really
yeah,
sad.
that's for sure. I mean, we were still they were getting checks and buying new cars and shit, but we were still shopping at the Goodwill for me. You know what I mean? But at
Right.
the same time, like I can't complain. I wasn't abused or anything like that. There, you know what I mean? So,
Good.
but my foster parents were actually very old. They were Pentecostal preachers,
No.
and the Pentecostal. I went from having no idea what religion was to seeing people speaking in tongues and shit. It was kind of freaky, you know?
I was gonna say, cause I know all about that. I was gonna say, if you went from no religion right into a Pentecostal church, I bet you thought people were nuts or possessed.
I've had quite a few culture shocks in my life, and that's one of them.
That's how I grew up. Actually, was in church every Sunday, and that's how my church was. Sam, hallelujah! And people just jumping up and reciting Bible verses and speaking in tongues and getting slain in the spirit and falling down. And
Yeah, I remember they took me to this giant Pentecostal church. We drove all the way to Idaho for some Pentecostal
oh
convention
wow.
thing. It was like this mega church, and they had like, a food bar,
Mhm.
and I just wanted to get to the food bar, and my foster parents were like, "You got to get the Holy Spirit tonight." So all these people surrounded me, and I put my hands up, and I'm all shabalabada shalabada. You know what I mean? And they totally bought it hook, line, and sinker that I received the Holy Spirit. I just wanted to get to the food bar, dog.
Right? It's funny. It reminds me of a verse that's in the Bible where Jesus said, "You guys aren't following me because you want what I got. You're following me because I turned the rocks into bread, or I turned the 2 loaves into 1,000 yesterday. You want to eat."
Right, yeah, exactly.
Uh, that's great. But yeah, I mean, when you totally force somebody to try to get religion into, that's not the way to do it. You can't make somebody really
Yeah,
believe like
yeah.
that,
No, no, it's crazy, but
right?
it's a good memory, and it's a good story I got.
Yeah. I'm glad to see that you're able to take things like that and find the humor in them, because if we can't laugh at some of the craziest stuff in life, I mean, it'll drive you nuts.
Oh yeah, and that would probably fuck a lot of kids up, you know.
Yeah. Right. Right. But you had just a twisted enough sense of humor to where you're like, yeah.
Yeah, fucking
Nice.
hilarious. And we all had to wear the girls could only wear dresses, the boys had to wear suit and tie and shit like that. It was
Right.
weird, dog.
Right. That's some different stuff there, boy. It's like my church was technically non-denominational, so we didn't have to do that. But I knew a lot of kids
Right,
that did, and it. But we were just. It was like did the exact same thing, only just without the dress code. So it.
right.
it, it
I ended up, going to church a lot with a
yeah.
non-denominational church a lot with my grandparents, and that was way cooler. You know what I mean? And I could hit the bookstore after and find some
Yeah.
some cool music and shit like that. So yeah, it was cool.
Heck yeah,
I
that's
got
cool.
nothing. I got nothing. I got nothing against religion as long as you're not a dick about it. You know.
Yeah. Yeah. My thing is, oh, so let me turn off the coffee pot. Sorry about that. I heard it pop and I totally forgot I had it on the stove.
It's
Yeah,
all
I mean,
good.
and the same with religion. It's like to me, it's like I'm against religion. I believe, but it's like that's the thing. It's a belief. It's that when it gets down to like legalistic religion, I'm out. I'm done.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
You know. Um, at what age kind of did you start listening to your own music and stuff and deciding like this is what I like? I wanna go this route.
I'd say right when I came to California, when I discovered hip hop,
Okay.
I knew immediately when I heard Eminem, like that's what I want to do. I want to rap. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's weird because I was still super. My favorite band of all time is Megadeth, and
Yeah.
so I'm super into metal and shit like that. But what made me want to do music was Eminem and Kid Rock and Limp Bizkit, all the white boy shit
Yeah.
from
Yeah.
the early 2000s, basically.
Nice. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I like that shit.
Yeah.
So that was actually my exact next question is if you like other genres of music. So you've definitely answered those
Oh yeah.
questions.
Oh yeah, and I love growing up with my grandparents too. I got
Yeah.
into like Cat Stevens
Sure.
and Led Zeppelin and Black Sabbath and all the
Nice.
old shit too.
Yeah.
So yeah, I have a very wide range of shit that I love.
That's cool. That's cool. You can kind of tell in your music because, like, I thought I could see, like, especially in your album covers, like, I was like, I swear there's some metal influence here. And like, speaking of, like, your album covers are awesome. They're super live.
Thank
They're
you.
in your face. They're edgy. Like, how do you come up with those yourself?
Yeah, I don't. I can only draw stick men.
Sure,
You know what
sure.
I mean? So
Me
but
too.
I have concepts in
Yeah.
my head that I relay to artists and shit
Yes.
like that. So yeah, that's how it's done.
Hell yeah. I like that. I like
Yeah.
that. That's some of the first things actually when I was flipping through on YouTube one day and I seen some of that. I was like, what is this? And I had to click on it and see, and it ended up being you, and it was dope. So that
Yeah,
worked.
I also love uh I love old movies. I love like film noir from the 40s, and I
Yeah.
love Bob Hope, Bing Crosby, and
Nice.
Clark Gable, and like all
Yeah.
that shit too, and Dean Martin. So I implement that shit into my music
Right.
too, and that's really not something you hear in hip hop a lot. You know what I mean?
Right.
You hear a lot of 70s soul samples
Sure, sure.
and shit like that, but it's very rare that you hear a Dean Martin sample in a fucking hip
Yeah.
hop song. You know?
Right. Right. I was actually going to ask some of that too, like about your samples and some of the stuff. It was like, it sounds like vintage Hollywood cinema, like some of the stuff that you put in
Yeah.
there. So, oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad you recognize that. You know, it's I always get excited when, and it doesn't happen often because you know
Right.
there's not a huge hip hop old Hollywood crossover there. But when I get a message from someone saying, "Yo, I can't believe you know mentioned Dorothy Lamour in a fucking song," I'm like, I can't believe you noticed it. You know?
Right. Or like, man, was that a picture of Mae West? Like, you know,
Yeah, bro.
like, I grew up on my parents. My dad is really into Laurel and Hardy, so I've seen like every Laurel and Hardy episode and movie, and John Wayne movies, and Clint Eastwood. That which isn't quite that era, but my mom
Right.
liked a lot of that old stuff too. Like a lot of those old musicals and things. So I grew up seeing it
Yeah.
and got into some of it.
Yeah, I
Um,
love all that shit, bro. Any
yeah,
way I can implement it, I do.
heck yeah! Well, you do a great way of segueing from one thing to the next and actually putting it into the hip hop and making it make sense instead of just having something right there where it's like, well, what in the hell? It actually goes good with it.
Right.
So that's
Right,
awesome.
like I feel like transitioning from track to track is very important, and
Yeah,
I don't know how much emphasis rappers put on that. You know what I mean? Because I listen to a lot of albums, and there's no real dope transition, so I like to focus on that too. You know?
right. Hell yeah, and you do because I know that I was actually when I was making the little promo for the interview, I was trying to find a good way to transition from the couple songs. Like, all right, where's a good spot to stop this? Because he does it so smoothly. I don't want to just make it abrupt. So,
Right.
yeah.
No, you did good on that. I reposted that. That was dope.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I wanted to ask you too. Because you have a certain sound to you. Like, you know how Wu Tang, you can tell it's Wu Tang. Like Cypress Hill, it's Cypress Hill. Like you have a
Right.
sound to you that's scribbled. Do you produce your own tracks?
No, I don't. I'm not a producer either.
Oh wow.
I just have a good ear for what I like. You know what I mean?
It's
So, um, to use the DJ Vlad argument,
sure.
there's a lot of rappers who just have that, like, I don't know what the fuck is going on with their ear. You know what I mean? Like someone like
Right.
Nas. Nas is one of the greatest on earth, but his beat picking after Illmatic, and it was written, is very questionable to me. You know what I mean? I'm like,
I
what the
bet.
fuck are you hearing? You're one of the
Right.
greatest ever. Yeah, you pick some of the wackest beats I've ever heard in my fucking life.
Right.
Like, what's going on with that? You know, so I pride myself on my beat picking ability.
Hell yeah, and you definitely should, cause yeah, man, that's I really wanted to ask that. Like, this is one of the ones I gotta ask him is if he uses certain producers, or if he does it, or if he just picks what he likes where he likes it. And man, you
Yeah, so for my official projects like my EPs and my albums and shit, I
yeah,
have a variety of different producers that I go to. But
nice,
with the monthly medicine mixtapes, I kind of like just to use one producer for the entire mixtape and to give it that solid sound.
yeah,
You
yeah,
know what I mean? So volume 5, I use this dude LOB, Loud Obnoxious, and his beats are fire. And before that, I use this dude Yage, and just I find someone who I really fuck with, like someone who I listen to one of their beats, I'm like, oh, that's fire. You know what I mean? And every single beat could be fire, and I just gotta, sometimes it's hard to break them down and be like, all right, I'm gonna use this one and this one,
Sure.
because sometimes I'm left with 35 beats, and I'm just like, fuck, I can't use all these. I gotta really
Right.
pick the best ones,
Right. But damn, you do pick some fucking bad, because that was one of the things I was showing my buddies. I was like, listen to this. I was like, listen to these rhymes, listen to these beats, and tell me this doesn't sound like the shit we fucking grew up on, bro. And he's
Yeah,
like,
bro.
yeah, they loved it. They fucking loved it.
Appreciate that, dog. I appreciate that.
Hell yeah. And to me, that's like everything to me, because I'm 42, so I got to see it go from like the mid 80s hip hop to, to what we have now. And to me, like, the greatest shit was like, the mid 90s to the early 2000s. However, there's still a lot of shit people make now that I like. It just usually isn't the mainstream shit. It's other shit. And
Yeah, I feel the exact same way, dog. We're on the same level on that,
hell yeah.
The trap beats, like my album Skinwalker, I got a lot of trap beats on there, but I kind of pulled back on the trap
Sure.
because I feel it's a cheat code almost. You know what I mean? You don't have to be spitting bars or be lyrical to make a good trap song. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because the beat is already so full and so dope that's why people stop listening to lyrics, because the beats are so fucking ill. Like, what the
Right.
fuck do I need the lyrics for? You know what I mean? Like, the beats
Right.
are so dope. And there's so many rappers, they just use it as a cheat code. They could have a fucking song done in 10 minutes with a trap beat.
Right. Right? Hey, at least though, when you do the trap beats, you know how to do it. Just like he'll take the new style sound, but he'll rap to it, like, and make it the right
Right.
way. So I
Right.
appreciate
Yeah,
that.
when I hear a lyrical motherfucker on a trap beat, then I'm like, okay, you could really rap. Like, you could rap on anything. You know what
Right.
I mean?
Exactly. So I appreciate that, because for real, it's you in a select group of guys that are out there in the hip hop scene, really keeping real hip hop alive. And like,
Right.
that's why I want to do this show and call it the Honor Show. I'm trying to give motherfuckers their flowers now while they're here. I want to honor MCs that really deserve it now while they're here and can hear, hey, thank you for what you do for the culture, instead of never being able to hear that shit. And I'm not saying you don't or other people I interview don't, but it's,
Right.
it's like we see so many famous rappers where you hear about, like, man, they never really got their flowers till after they were gone. And I want to change some of that.
Yeah. Yeah, man, I appreciate that, and it's kind of
Huh.
like an underground drink champs kind of thing you got
Hell
going
yeah.
on. Like, I fuck with it. Yeah.
Hell yeah. Thank you. Um, what? Oh yeah. You got to tell me about the name Skribbal. How did that come about, and what's that mean to you?
Well, it's kind of crazy because I got the name in seventh grade, maybe it was eighth grade. I think it was seventh though, by my teacher, Miss Jensen, and she was I believe, my English teacher, and I wouldn't do shit in class, and she would always get on my ass because she would think I was doing a report or whatever it is we had to do, and she would come look at what I was doing, and I was writing lyrics. I was scribbling down lyrics, and she started calling me Skribbal.
Yes.
So that's how I got the name, and it just stuck ever since then. And so I've had it since like seventh grade. So there was a time when I was like 19. I'm like, fuck, man, I want to change my name. You know what I
Right.
mean? So I went through like all these different names, but it always just ended up back to Scribble. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It is what it is. I can't escape it.
Yes. Dude, it's a dope name. It's a dope name. And I like that it's got that story to it. Like, I swear to God, there's so many kids these days who just sit there and think, I'm just gonna, what? This sounds cool. And it don't, but they
Right.
go with it.
Yeah. That's another reason I just kept this girl. I'm like, well, you can't give yourself a nickname. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? You got to be given the nickname, and that's what it is.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. That's classic. I've also heard that, man. So that's cool that you said it. That's classic. I love it. Um, let's see here. What was that? Sorry, I gotta see what I had written there. Okay, that was about the cover art. I talked to you about that. I know you mentioned Eminem and a couple guys. Who were some of your other main favorite rappers growing up? Who were some of your main influences, would you say?
As far as hip hop goes,
Yeah.
I was more I get shit for this, especially because of his political views. But Kid Rock, early like late '90s, early 2000s,
Sure.
Kid Rock when he was actually rapping.
Yeah, yeah.
And I got three older sisters. I was the youngest of three, so I remember hearing "Devil Without a Cause" when I was like 7 years old. You know what I mean?
I
And
have it.
just being like, this is cool shit. It sounds so fucking rebellious, and it's just so I don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? So that Kid Rock, specifically "Devil Without a Cause" and his '90s shit. Um, Limp Bizkit changed my life, dog.
Nice.
Uh, I don't know anybody who didn't have chocolate starfish in the hot dog flavored water when
Right.
that shit came out. Like everyone I know had it or their uncle had it. You know what I mean? So
Right.
that was a big one. I was obsessed with Limp Bizkit when I was a teenager. I kind of like that they're having a comeback now, and people
Yeah.
are like embracing them, and it's now cool to fuck with Limp Bizkit like that
Yeah.
because, bro, in 2006 when I was in like seventh, eighth grade. And I was rocking my Limp Bizkit shirt. I got nothing but hate, dude, all through high school because it was like the peak hate for anything
Right.
new metal, Korn and Limp Bizkit and
Right.
all that shit was just shit on. And now everyone's like, fuck yeah, Limp Bizkit rules. And I'm like, you know what I had to go through to say that in public?
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's kind of cool. I was into a lot of the new metal shit that mixed the hip hop and the
Sure.
metal. But a big thing for me after Eminem and Kid Rock and Biscuit and all that was, like I mentioned, I would go to these church bookshops, and
Yeah.
I found this Christian rapper. His name was KJ52,
Okay.
and he had an album called Seventh Avenue. It was his first album, and it was mad lyrical. It
Yeah.
was mad hip hop, boom bap,
Yeah.
and he would drop Jesus in there, and I thought it
Yeah.
was weird, but I listened to it constantly, and it just like it became part of my DNA at this point. Like I still listen to the album
Yeah.
constantly, so I got into a lot of Christian hip hop, Mars Hill, Plato, Lecrae, like
Yeah.
a lot of Christian hip hop too. And I was doing Christian hip hop when I was like a teenager
Yeah. Yeah.
because it's all I was allowed to do because my
Right.
grandmother wasn't having no Eminem. She would take my Eminem and my Rob Zombie CDs. You know what I mean? She would
Uh,
like take all my shit. So I was only allowed to do like Christian shit. So
right.
I because of that, I got into a lot of Christian hip hop,
Yeah.
which is weird for people. People are like, what? This fucking Christian hip hop? I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, and some of it's bad. And some of it's really bad too.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. There's some shit
Right.
that will give you deuce chills for eternity, dog. But I found the good shit, you know. I found the good shit.
Right? No, you're right there. And dude, it was the same thing. Like I was only allowed to listen to Christian shit, basically, like Christian shit or shit that didn't have swearing. And dude, I'd have like all these albums hidden. Like I had a bunch of Tupac albums and N.W.A. and Ice Cube. And I remember my dad finding them and sitting there in front of the wood stove, one after another. Tupac, this N word, that, throwing it in the fire, and me just watching it melt and hiss. And I'm like,
Yeah, bro. Dude, I don't know how many times I bought that Rob Zombie album, that Hellbilly Deluxe
yeah,
record with Dracula, and just by the cover, bro. Like she didn't
right.
even read the lyrics on that one, but she would do that with the Eminem show and Slim Shady LP. She threw out a bunch of times. I had to keep
Right,
getting them and hiding
right,
them, and yeah, bro. I don't know if that happens nowadays. You know what I mean?
right.
Because first of all, CDs aren't really a thing with younger
No,
people now. You know what I mean? So they could just
they just
listen to
got their
whatever the fuck
phone.
they want
Right,
on the phone. Yeah, at any time. You know,
exactly.
lucky motherfuckers. They'll never know the struggle.
Right, they'll never know what we went through. They'll never know.
Yeah, bro. And that if anything, that made you more attracted to it. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? So like,
definitely.
I'll never forget. I got home. This is like sixth grade. I got home and no one was home, and I put in my Limp Bizkit CD, and I'm like, I don't give a fuck. Like I was singing to every song, right? And I turn because I'm in my bedroom. I look and I just for some reason I look out my window and my grandmother's right there like this. And that's the first time she took my Limp Bizkit CD, but it wasn't the last. You know what I mean?
Right? No, man, I feel your pain. I feel your pain so much. A similar thing happened. I was rapping along the Bazaar from D12.
Oh, that's not a good one.
No, and it was like this freestyle. It's called No Rubber. Look it up sometime.
Okay. Yeah.
Like I'm rapping along to it, and my mom was supposed to be outside hanging up clothes somewhere, and I look up and she's in the living room crying. Why would you want to hear things like that? And I'm like, I don't know, Mom. The sicker the
You
better.
know, it's really, and you come to learn this as a parent. It's really how you raise your kid. You know,
Yeah,
I allow my son to listen to whatever he wants to listen to.
right.
I know that he's a good kid.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? And it's just like the video game argument, or that,
right.
you know, in the
Entertainment.
in the 1980s when they were going after heavy metal. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like it's the same shit. Like it's not gonna make you kill. It's not gonna
No.
make you go rob a motherfucker.
Right.
If you're raised right, that's all that matters. You know, listen to whatever the fuck you want.
Exactly.
Luckily, my son loves the Beastie Boys, and that's not too
Yeah.
bad. You know what I mean?
Yes. That's dope. That's dope. Hey, I'm the same way. As long as I just don't believe in censorship unless it was just some. If it was like unless he was looking at a bunch of pornographic stuff, I'd say, nah,
Right.
you can end that. But with music and stuff like that, video games, I
Entertainment, you know. Yeah.
exactly. Exactly. You raise them right, and you teach them that this is entertainment, and this is real life. And if you have a parent that does that, they can listen and play those things, no problem. Um,
Yeah, exactly, bro.
what has hip hop done positive for you in your life?
Mm. It gave me an outlet to get out all my shit because we can't afford therapy. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So even as a little 12-year-old, like I was writing shit, and it just, I don't know if you realize it at the time, or because I wasn't even specifically writing like about being in foster care or what
sure,
happened with my parents. Like I wasn't writing about that shit specifically. I was just like writing about how dope I was and how
yeah,
dope I wanted to be, and who I liked and shit like that. But you look back at it and you're like, damn, that really was an outlet to get
right,
out all my feelings and my anger that I was holding in and things like that. It
right,
just, and I'd say it's never stopped being that for
yeah,
me. You know what I mean? It's still the exact same thing. When I finish a song, I'm exhausted because I just got out all those fucking emotions, even
wow,
if I wasn't specifically talking about them. Although
right,
now I do have songs about that kind of shit. You know what I mean? But it's just catharsis. You know what I mean?
right,
So that's what it's done for me. You know, other than changing pretty much my entire life and how I view things and shit like that. But yeah, it's I'd say the main thing is catharsis. It's like therapy, you know.
yes,
To not to be corny, but that's what it is. You know,
right. Hell yeah,
I
dude, I
found it.
like that.
I found an art. I think every kid needs to find an art,
Yes.
a creative outlet to get their shit out. You know.
Absolutely. That's such a dope thing to do too. It's just what a great thing to do. Take the things that are bothering you and the things that hurt you and be able to turn them into a art fucking form that other people can enjoy and get that out of you. Man, that's
Yeah.
and you're great at it. You're one of the greats out there. Like for real. Like I said, I've been listening to rap for fucking 35 years and you are one of the fucking greats, brother, on
Thank
everything.
you, brother. I appreciate that,
Absolutely.
dog. Thank
Absolutely.
you.
Um, People tell me I need to ask some current questions about current things. So, have you heard Shady's new album?
I have not heard it all the way through.
Sure.
I'm gonna be honest. I love old Eminem. I love
Yeah.
young Eminem
Sure.
technically. I have been known to be quite a hater
Sure.
of his new shit. I really liked some of the songs from the last record.
Yeah.
What was that? What was the last one?
Music to be murdered by, and then side
Music to be
B. Yeah.
murdered by. I like some of the shit on there, but I'm gonna be honest. Like I kind of after like Eminem show,
Sure.
I kind of stopped caring. You know what I
Sure.
mean? But he's got shit I like on every record except like Revival. Like I didn't like no shit on that. Or Marshall Mathers LP2. Like I didn't like none of that shit.
Sure.
But other than those two records, I can find shit I like on every album, you know.
That's dope.
But
And see, this is I like. Just honest answers. Whatever the person likes, I'd never dig at somebody over anything they like or listen to or don't like. Every answer is dope to me. So,
right, yeah. So I mean, look, man. I always compare Eminem to Metallica, right? Because he kind of gets the same. He'll never stop getting backlash no matter what the fuck he does. Because his first few records were so amazing and so groundbreaking, just like Metallica, that once you start changing shit, you know, the love turns to hate almost. You know what I mean? Like the passion was so strong for Eminem for those first couple records that he'll always be compared to that, no matter what. So even with the new shit where he's kind of going back to Slim Shady, I was like, oh, well, maybe I'll really fuck with this if he but he doesn't really do the Slim Shady voice. Like he does some of the content, but like he doesn't do that high-pitched 1999 Eminem horror chorus voice, you know what I mean? So like for me, and I got homies who are stans who are like, man, he'll never fucking satisfy you. Like, da, da, da. I'm like, I'm sorry, dog. Like, my love has turned to hate because I love him so much that the passion is so strong. I can't really get into all the new shit. Although I will say some of the shit on Kamikaze and the album after that, I really liked, you know?
Yeah, he went hard. And I know what you mean, though. It's like when you go so fucking hard right away, there's only one way to go from there. You're already at the top, you know.
Yeah.
So that makes it hard. That makes it difficult. What about? Do you think P Diddy's guilty?
Yeah. Oh fuck yeah, dude. There's. I mean, look, man. Has he been arrested? He hasn't been arrested or anything, right? Which I find crazy, especially with that video that came out of him beating that girl's ass in the hotel. Like, how is there not at least a warrant or something for this motherfucker? But at the same time, hip hop has a real fucking problem with gay people, and I find it weird. You know what I mean? Because hip hop is so full of gossip and bullshit, and just like, oh my god, now they're saying Busta Rhymes is gay, he's undercover, you know what I mean? Like, I'm just like, even if he was, who gives a fuck? He's Busta Rhymes, you know, unless he's, you know, doing inappropriate shit with inappropriate people, then I got a problem. You know what I mean? But hip hop has such an anti-gay fucking thing. I feel like that's never pointed out in the media either, you know what I mean? Because that is a part of, like, you know, black culture is they're I'm not gonna say they're violent against gay people, you know what I mean? But it's just they're not with that shit, you know what I mean? So that kind of perpetuates the thing into hip hop. Will Smith, for how many years have you heard the Will Smith is gay rumors? And my point is, even if he is gay, good for Will Smith, bro. Like if he's fucking dudes, like what the fuck does that matter to you? He's winning, dog. Like Will Smith is a goddamn legend, and I don't give a fuck if he's gay or straight or bi or fucking trans, dog. Like, I don't care. I love Will Smith's music, too. He actually just dropped a new song, which I thought, with Russ, which was really good.
Nice.
And people, I always bring up, like, one of my influences early on was Will Smith. Not Jazzy Jeff Fresh Prince, but Will Smith, like his solo records. I think Millennium is one of the most underrated fucking albums. And look, he's corny, he's a cornball and all that, I admit. But he's fire, dog. Like, and that shit influenced me a lot. Like, if I were to put out like a song I did when I was 12, it would be me going, just like Will Smith did, dog. Like, I love that shit.
Yes, he's a legend. It's all there's to it. He's a fucking legend.
Period, dog. I don't care. But yeah, the Diddy thing, yeah, I think he's guilty. You know what I mean? Like, what? I don't know if anything's ever gonna happen to him. You know, but yeah, for sure. For sure.
Dude, some of that shit's so weird. I won't talk too much about him. I'll just say this. dude, and I don't care who somebody's banging either. It's like I couldn't care less. Go do your thing. Why quit trying to make me have to go along? I just go do your thing. I don't care. But it's like
Yeah.
he, I put some of the shit like that supposed tape of him and Meek Mill. I can't listen to that shit. I
Oh,
heard one
dude. Oh
second. I was
my
like,
god.
no.
No, my homie sent that to me, and my brain is fucking scarred, dog. I can. That was rough, dog. And I don't even know. Do we know if that is that confirmed or that's nothing's really
Oh,
confirmed other than that like one video we saw that he
right,
apologized for. But
right,
other than that, everything else is still rumors and
right.
speculation. So I'd be interested. I'm interested to see where it goes. For
Yeah.
real.
Definitely, definitely, definitely a crazy thing. How you see people who have it all and they throw it away just to act like weirdos and to be violent. It's like, what are you, what
And
the,
that's an inner problem, bro. Like
right?
that's some motherfuckers who need like some deep, deep everyday psychotherapy
Right,
shit to get over whatever the fuck they went through in their childhood. You know what I mean? That's some disturbing shit. When I
right,
saw that video, I'm like, Diddy's done.
right.
Diddy's done for, dog.
Over. Fuck yeah,
Yeah.
man. If I was filthy rich, I could find so much better shit to do with my time and money
Oh
than,
yeah, dude. And it's always us, right? Who are
right,
filthy rich, who fucking were like, why are you doing this? Like you're
right,
filthy rich, you got everything you could ever want. But I guess when you have problems that you don't deal with and
right,
you become filthy rich and you can start paying motherfuckers off to
yeah,
hide your problems,
right,
that's what it is. It's just the people with deep seated problems that get filthy rich, man. They're if you don't handle that, it's gonna come out in other ways.
yep, totally sideways.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Hmm. What gives you the drive? I don't got too much more here. We're pretty much through most of it here. I know you're a busy guy. What gives you the drive to spit at such a fucking level that you do, and continue to stay right there at the fucking at with the fucking what's it called, speedometer pinned?
I think every rapper who considers themselves like a real rapper, a lyricist, like you don't ever want to fall back.
Yeah,
And anytime you try and fall back and like do what other people are doing, like
right,
I've had tracks like that I've never released where I'm like,
right,
let me try this new style and like just try
sure,
not to be lyrical. It doesn't feel good on the inside. You don't feel like you're elevating. You don't feel like you're progressing at all. So
right,
if you're feeling stuck in that position, it doesn't feel good inside. You know
right.
what I mean? So like, and everyone I listen to, like I listen to R.A. the Rugged Man and Vinny Paz and Immortal Technique and all that shit. So like, I just anytime I hear a new R.A. the Rugged Man song, I think, fuck, is this what I'm fucking competing with? Like, I
Right,
better step it the fuck up. So when you hear shit like that, and it's all you listen to, um, how do you not? How do
right,
you not like keep trying to improve and get better? And yeah, that's listening to real shit and it's also the passion for it. You know what
yeah,
I mean? Like I just love hip hop so much that I don't ever want to like fall back and like I said earlier, like do what
right,
everyone else is doing. Like, I want to keep progressing and doing my thing and improving myself, bettering myself.
right. Absolutely. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. What what are your goal? What would you say your goals as an artist is?
Hmm. To be honest, my goal I used to have different goals. I used to want to be Eminem. I wanted to
Sure,
be the biggest rapper on the planet. I wanted
sure.
to like sell out giant places, arenas, like when I was young and idealistic, that's what I wanted. I wanted to be the fucking biggest rapper on earth. Now that I'm 32, I just want to be able to constantly make music, and I got my little core fan base. I got like my little cult following, and that's really all I care about. Like, if I could maintain my cult following and continue to build it, my goal is if I could go to any club in the country and sell out 250 to 300 seaters, you can live the rest of your life without a job like that. You know what I mean? It's not about being Eminem anymore. You know what I mean? Because first of all, that's never going to happen. There's never going to be anyone as big as Drake or Eminem or these motherfuckers, unless you have a machine behind you that's pushing you like that, you'll never get there. So as an underground artist, the goal should be for every underground artist to get your little cult following, motherfuckers who will buy all your merch and whatever album you drop and go to see you live. That's all that matters. You know what I mean? That's it. And I kind of look at someone like Everlast, right? The Coca Nostra, House of Pain. He has major hits, dog. Jump Around. Everyone knows Jump Around. And then he went solo. He had What It's Like. Everyone knows what it's like. But he can walk down the street and nobody knows who the fuck he is. And he doesn't have to be bothered. He's getting paid. But when he goes to a music event, everyone's like, "Yo, Everlast." That's what I want. That's all that matters. Like, I don't want to be recognized walking down the street. But when I go to a hip hop show, I want people to say, "Yo, Skribbal, what's up?" And to a certain extent, I've had that, but it's more like in my world of like if I'm at a like SRH festival, I did SRH Fest, right?
Yeah.
And just constantly the entire time, I was getting recognized, and people were showing love to me, and that's what it's about. Like, but the moment that I was done with SRH Fest, the moment I'm walking down to 7-Eleven, nobody knows who the fuck I am. And that's what Everlast has. And I think that's what underground artists should be striving for, because even in the underground, I see a lot of motherfuckers with big egos, like when I was 20, you know what I mean? And I get it, but they want to be the biggest rappers in the world and shit like that. But that's really not what you should be looking at. You should be looking at zooming in, focusing on the people who already fuck with you and your niche style. You got to find your niche, man.
Yes, that's dope. I love how you care about, and you can tell in your music that you give a fuck what your fans are listening to, because you really put your heart and soul into what you're doing, and I can tell you love what you're doing, and that's what makes it better for the fans and more entertaining, is when I know a guy's getting in the booth and just fucking really putting your heart and soul in it. And
if I don't fuck with the song heavy, if I don't think the song is one of my best songs ever, I'm not dropping it, because I know if I think the song is kind of whack, there might be a couple people who are like, "Yeah, I love that song," but I know most people who are fans of mine are going to be like, "You were slacking on that." And that's kind of cool too. Being underground is motherfuckers aren't afraid to tell you when you drop some whack shit.
Wow,
you know what I mean? Because they buy everything you do. They're always listening to your shit. So when you drop some subpar shit, they feel like they know you already, because I communicate with everyone who messages me.
Right.
You know what I mean? So they feel like they can reach out to me, and sometimes if it's disrespectful, I got to hit the block button on a motherfucker if they're being dicks about it.
Right.
But most people, if I drop something whack, they'll say, "Yo, that's not really up to quality for your shit." And I respect that. That's something I take in.
Wow.
And so through the years, I've just learned, you know what? If I'm not excited about this song, if I'm not fucking playing this song 10 times in a row after I fucking record it, it's not going anywhere.
Yes. See, and that's what makes it so fucking dope. I love it. One last quick question. If you could feature anyone to do a song with or an album, anyone in the world, who would you want to do it with?
Okay, so I got 3 different answers for this. I got a producer. If I could record with one producer, Premier.
Yes.
It would have to be DJ Premier.
Yes.
If I could record with one rock star, and I actually have 2 answers for this. One would be Fred Durst.
Yes.
Or Kid Rock, because if I could work with Kid Rock, I would tell him, stop, with all this political bullshit. Your whole career was anti-political, motherfucker.
Right.
Why are you so involved in this?
Right.
Get back to rap. Go back to Early Morning Stone Pimp and the
Yep.
Polyfuse Method and Devil Without a Cause and start fucking rapping, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Or I would work with Fred Durst. Just because, look, he's not a lyrical guy, but
Sure.
he has so much style and steez and fuck you attitude. I would love to just work with him. As far as hip hop goes, fuck. I've done a song with R.A. the Rugged Man.
Nice.
I'm on a track. Shout out to my boy Danny Diablo. Put me on a song with Vinny Paz.
Yes. I've seen that. I love it.
I've worked with a lot of my idols already, but if I had to do a full album, fuck, man, there's so many different people I could say. And I'm trying to be realistic too. Like, I don't want to say Nas or fucking, you know what I mean, Eminem, because that's never gonna happen. Be Real would be cool.
Yeah.
And it's funny, I get a lot of comparisons to Be Real, and I always have to be honest with people. I did not grow up listening to Cypress Hill.
Sure.
Obviously, I've heard Insane in the Membrane,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
you know, I've heard Dude,
Yeah.
and I've listened through the years. I've heard some, you know, I've listened to the albums and shit like that. But it was never like an influence of mine. But
Sure.
people hear high pitched and they go, Be Real. You know what I mean? Or Mad Child. And I respect Mad Child. I've done a bunch of shows with Mad Child. It's just I didn't listen to him growing up.
Right.
But
your
I think
style's all your own.
A Be Real Skribbal record would be fucking ill as fuck.
It'd be insane.
Yeah, I think that would be fire.
I would love that. Be Real. I'm gonna send this to you, and you got to do a track with Skribbal. Hip hop needs it. We would fucking love it.
Well, I actually got a kind of a connection to Be Real. My homie Scott Von Held, who used to play guitar for Brian Head Welch from Korn.
Oh, hell yeah!
He works for Be Real, and we're working on a metal record right now. The next Skribbal record is going to be a full-on rap metal, new metal record in the style of like Rage Against the Machine and Limp Bizkit, and we've got about half of it done. So to get Be Real, maybe we can get Be Real on one of those tracks, because Be Real on rock shit sounds hard, bro. Like that whole rock record they did was fire. Like that's my favorite Cypress shit.
Hell yeah!
So maybe it'll happen in the future. Maybe it'll happen soon. You know?
Right? Hell yeah! I was gonna say that Be Real fucks with metal and shit too, because when they did Rap Superstar, they did like the whole like a Skull and Bones album. One whole disc was hip hop, the other whole disc was metal on the album. And then
that's the one I was talking about. That's fire. Yeah.
Hell yeah! And then also way back in the day, in the early '90s, they had like Cypress Hill on a Biohazard song. Like
they toured with Biohazard. They toured with some metal. Well, Biohazard is more like hardcore, but like they've toured with Limp Bizkit, they've toured with Korn. Yep. When the new metal shit was popping off, Cypress Hill fit right in there. You know? Or I would say another dream collaboration that almost happened, and it never came through. But I talked to him, Ice-T. Ice-T is one of my all-time favorite, and I'm not saying it won't happen.
Right.
I sent him a couple songs, and we were talking, and it kind of bugs me. He still follows me on Twitter and like likes my shit, and I'm like, motherfucker, get that verse done, motherfucker.
Right.
You know what's up, dog?
Oh, that would be dope.
Ice-T would be amazing, because I love, as far as like anything pre-90s, I think Ice-T got it. You know, that whole Rhyme Pays album, his first album, and Power, plus Body Count. You want to talk about a metal crossover? He does Body Count. I love Ice-T, bro. Definitely in my top 10. That would be amazing.
That would be awesome. Ice-T Skribbal record. Oh my god, that shit would be fucking out of this world. That shit would be fucking viral in a second. I swear to God.
You should have heard this shit I sent to him. I had my homie make the hardest fucking West Coast beat you've ever heard. It just makes you want to fucking go out and do a drive-by, dog. Like, it was crazy. But Look, I'm not. I stopped bugging him because I'm like, this is
Sure,
Ice-T. He said he would do it. When he does it, he'll do it, even if it's a
sure.
couple years from now.
Right, right.
That he's a busy motherfucker. He's always doing something. So what am I
Yep,
gonna do about it?
right. For sure. Well, man, I thank you for doing this. You answered everything that I really wanted to ask you, and
Cool.
we could. I wanted to say you always got an open slot on the show. You ever want to come on here to talk about an album or just talk about anything, talk about hip hop? You always got a slot. You're always welcome on the show. You're one of the dopest out there. Thank you for making the fucking music you make. That's pretty much all I've been listening to for the last fucking few days now, up until there. I mean, I've been listening to it, but especially up until the interview, just to really immerse myself in it, so I, can ask more on topic questions and shit. But yeah,
Hey,
brother.
bro. Thank you for having me on the show, dog. It was fun. Honestly, when I get hit up for interviews, I'm always skeptical. Usually I ask to hear like, oh, let me hear a previous show, and then I listen to it, and it's just the same old shit.
Right,
And but I could tell you were coming from a place of love, and
yeah,
you weren't just trying to like get someone on your show just to have someone on your show. You know what I mean? So I
right.
appreciate that. And definitely hit me up with the link, and I'll share the shit out of this. Make
Hell
sure
yeah,
people hear it. And yeah, dog, thanks for having me on. And I'm always down in the future whenever I drop something else. If you want to have me back on, just holler
yeah.
at me, dog.
Hell yeah, absolutely. Oh shit! What? One more thing, real quick, if you don't mind, Max.
Yeah.
How did you come up with the monthly medicine concept?
I was just, it should be called bi-monthly medicine at this point, or yearly medicine, because it started out like I was gonna drop a mixtape every single month, like the first of every month I was gonna drop a new mixtape. But I don't do mixtapes like where I just mix a bunch of old verses and shit. Like I
Right,
get fresh beats, I write fresh shit to it, I get fresh shout outs on every
yeah,
mixtape. So it just became the first three I did June, July, August of 2022, just in a row. Boom,
right.
boom, boom. And then it just started like it started wearing on me, and I'm like, I
Sure,
can't do this every fucking month, and so then 2023 I only dropped one monthly medicine,
sure.
and then this year I've only dropped one so far. I plan on dropping one October 1st, so I'm
Nice,
gonna at least drop two this year.
nice.
Um, but it was just like get your monthly fix, your monthly medicine. You know what I mean? But yeah, it just became too much of a hassle. It's fucking
Right.
yearly medicine at this point. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's yearly medicine.
That's a lot to put on your
Subtitle.
shoulders every month, a fucking dope mixtape like that. That's a lot.
Yeah, it was a lot, bro. I can't believe I did three in a row. And with the shout outs and the guest appearances, it was just fuck, dude. Like it was daunting.
Right? Hell yeah. Well, man, thank you again for being on the show. I only ever have people on the show that I think are dope. I don't care if somebody offers me 10 grand. If they're whack, they ain't coming on this motherfucker. I'm not doing it.
That's
Otherwise, I'm
right,
not
bro.
even going to have the show. So thank you. I
That's
really
right.
appreciate you, brother. And yeah, man, let's do this again sometime in the future. I hope everything you do gets blessed times 10, and keep doing what you're doing, because us fucking fans love it. Thank you.
Thank you, brother. You have a good one, dog.
You too. Thanks, brother.
All right, man.
Peace.
Late.